Good morning. It is day 27 of my 30-day health challenge, and I just pulled up outside of our son and daughter-in-law's home. I will be spending the day with our grandson today, taking care of him to help his parents out. And so my videoing throughout today will be here at their home. I'll close it up tonight probably in our study/library room at the house. But anyway, I'm starting the day here. I woke up this morning with a fasting glucose of 75. That was wonderful. Let me check my weight here. My weight was 138.6, so a couple more tenths of a pound up. And my ultimate goal would be 136 and below. 136 pounds is my 1984 wedding weight, and I am 5'5", so that's a nice weight on the BMI chart. I do have a very nice height to waist ratio. I'll put up a picture about that topic, and there will be a link in the description box about height to waist ratio and BMI, all of that information. My blood pressure was good again this morning, 108/64. That makes me happy. While I was driving over here, since my blood glucose was already at 75 fasting glucose this morning, and my personal hunger trigger is 80, I decided to go ahead and make a Trim Healthy Mama compliant breakfast shake. So it's empty right now, but I'll put up a screenshot of the thing full, and I will put a link in the description box for the recipe for it. It is Brianna's Chocolate Dreamy Shake. I believe that's the name of it. It had plenty of protein in it because I added protein. I used the cottage cheese and the whey powder, but I also used some of the creamy, dreamy plant protein from Trim Healthy Mama, and I tried a little bit of, I think it's Nutiva brand hemp protein. I thought I would give that a try and see how that compares to the Trim Healthy Mama creamy, dreamy plant protein. So, and I put in some mushroom powder. Turkey tail, I think, was the mushroom powder I added to this. I sweetened it with stevia, but never mind all that. The original recipe for it is in the description box, a link to that, and so that will take you there. Oh, it's got a secret ingredient in it, or Trim Healthy Mamas call it that, okra. And okra has a lot of health benefits. So you can read about that in the recipe description box, which is linked in the description box of this video. I like stuffing lots of information resources in the description area of my videos because I would like people to have that to follow up on, and not just take my word for it. So anyway, time to go in the house and see the grandson for the morning, do the morning greeting, and get on with my day with him. Peace and quiet of nap time. But the 2.5-year-old and I got along just fine this morning, thus far today. We had Play-Doh time, and we had water play, and he had his lunch, and then we had some cuddle time before nap. Oh, and there were lots of books. He kept bringing me books to read, which thrills my heart, especially since some of the ones I got to read to him were things that I read to his father when his father was a little boy, such as Ox Cart Man. Such a peaceful little story. So I am getting ready to sit down and have my lunch now. Recapping, when I woke up this morning, my morning fasting glucose was 75, which is 5 points below my personal hunger trigger of 80. So I decided to make a protein breakfast shake to drink on the drive over here. And then at about 1 o'clock, I took my glucose reading just to see where it sat, and I was at 80. Even though I wasn't hungry, I decided I would go ahead and make my lunch plate and eat because I'm having a break with the little one taking his nap, and then I don't want to eat late in the day. So this will be one of those days where I basically have 2 meals, that breakfast shake and then this meal that I'm about to eat that I'll show you. So morning fasting glucose of 75, went ahead and took in some breakfast, plenty of protein in the breakfast shake, and now I'm about to eat a mixed fuel meal, and I'll show that to you. But my glucose came back to my trigger again, and so that is personal hunger trigger for me of 80 right now, and I have prepared my meal and I'm ready to sit down. I am sitting down, ready to eat. I'll show you the meal now. I figured out my meal just fine. I'm having an open-faced grilled cheese sandwich, carrot sticks, a red pepper. I'm starting with a glass of vinegar water per Jessie and Chelsea. That information will be linked in the description box. And I will finish up with some homemade chocolate chip cookies. Oh my goodness. This lunch is just so good. That cheesy, bready thing, the open-faced grilled cheese sandwich, that was my daughter-in-law's homemade sourdough bread. I saw it sitting on the counter and I sliced off a slice, and she had a block of cheese in the fridge. So I buttered the bread on both sides. I grilled it. I put it in a pan to brown it on both sides. I seasoned it with garlic powder and some sea salt. Then I put the slices of cheese on it and sprinkled some Parmesan on top of that and put the thing in the oven to melt the cheese, and then I kissed it with a broiler. So I had, it was pretty on top. That hit the spot because the other day I was trying to get something cheesy by having that cheese omelet, but it wasn't what I was looking for. So today, wow, that was just so enjoyable to eat. And I helped myself out by starting with a glass of vinegar water. You can read in Jessie and Chelsea's book, The Glucose Revolution, which is linked in the description box, about why that works. She also talks about it in the podcast that I have linked of hers, one of the podcast appearances she did. That having vinegar water before a meal is one of her glucose hacks to help us regulate our glucose and still be able to eat the food we want, like chocolate chip cookies and bread. So that cheese, open-faced grilled cheese sandwich was just wonderful. And now I can't believe how good these chocolate chip cookies are. My son is a very blessed man to have this woman as his wife. She's a good cook. She's a good mother. She's a good wife. Our family's blessed to have her. Anyway, I'm not going to take bites in front of you. I'm going back to my meal, but I just had to add this meal, as simple as it is absolutely divine. I just got home from the day with our grandson, and it's 7:34. I immediately got into my pajamas. I'm ready to have some leisure time reading before I fall asleep. And then tomorrow we need to be up early and leaving for the airport because my husband and I are on our way to Fort Lauderdale to see our daughter and son-in-law and grandbaby. I just took my glucose and it is 72. I'm thinking that glass of vinegar was quite a good thing to start my meal with. It's not something I do every meal. I don't start every meal with that. Again, look for the information link in my description box. Jessie and Chauspay, Glucose Goddess. There's a podcast link to one of her interviews, and there's a link to her book, The Glucose Revolution, and there's a link to her website, her science page on it that lists all her glucose hacks and the science behind them. My personal hunger trigger is still sitting at 80, and the daily lesson did update today at some point. The question it's asking is, how long can I do this for? So let me open that and share it with you. It says you can follow data-driven fasting until you achieve your goal, e.g. a waist to height ratio of less than half or 0.5, or a body fat level of less than 15% for men and 25% for women. So let me look at my body fat percentage right now. When I took my weight this morning, which was 138.6 pounds, my body fat percentage was measuring in at 27.9%. So I still could do this for a while. Back to the lesson. It says a pre-meal trigger of 4.5 millimoles per liter or 80 milligrams per deciliter, which is what I'm at right now, tends to correspond with a waking glucose of around 4.9 millimoles per liter or 90 milligrams per deciliter. Well, my morning fasting glucose was lower this morning. Was it 75? Those numbers align with the lowest risk of all-cause mortality. Well, that's good news for me. Any form of dieting can get hard after weeks or months. And I've been at this now, today's day 27. So that's almost 4 weeks. Any form of dieting can get hard after weeks or months, so feel free to take a break and maintain your current weight for a while if life gets stressful. You can always come back to it after a few days or weeks. Once you reach your goal, we recommend you transition to phase 5, which is maintenance, in your data-driven fasting tracking app, where you will track your weight, blood sugar, and waist each week. If you find you're starting to gain weight or your waking blood sugar is increasing, you can simply jump back into your preferred data-driven fasting protocol and repeat the process until you arrive at your goal again. And now I'm going to hit close. So I have 3 more days left to finish a 30-day challenge. Today's 27. 3 of the days will be, I'll be traveling to Florida, and then 2 days at our daughter's home. We'll be eating with them, living, the schedule that they live. And with my weight sitting at 38.6 right now, I don't expect to drop tomorrow morning because of the fuel that I added to my meal today. I had both carbohydrates and fats. And my second meal, the open-faced grilled cheese sandwich, didn't have a lot of protein. It was just the cheese, and that wasn't a whole lot of protein. But I'm not hungry, and I'm going to go to bed and start a new day tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to try to pack food with me for the trip. I think I'm just going to wing it and be very casual. I won't gorge or binge or do anything like that, but I don't think I'm going to try to or be able to prioritize protein without going kind of bending over backwards. Though, I could do the same thing I did this morning. I could start the day with that what is it? Creamy, dreamy chocolate shake and add in more protein and drink that on the way to the airport, which I'm thinking I might do because that would definitely start off my day good with a good slug of protein. Anyway, I'm calling it a day. It was a good day. I'm glad I was able to help our son and his wife by taking care of our grandson. Definitely was tiring and rewarding. And I had a wonderful meal. I think you could see that on my reaction. Okay, so end of day 27 of my 30-day health challenge. I'll be back again with starting a new video tomorrow. But I don't know if I'll start it first thing in the morning or wait and start it at the airport like I did when I started this whole adventure on July 15th, which was day 1 of my 30-day health challenge. That day I was flying from DFW to Los Angeles to see our daughter's family out there with our first grandchild, who's a little over, well, she's our oldest grandchild and 3.5. Okay, good night.